Hi, this is Miss Andrea, and I am here in EcoStation. I'm going to do an experiment with you guys this morning. This is courtesy of the Strike Foundation, who has generously funded this project. So today I would like to ask the question, what's in the air? So you may think you know what's in the air, but let's run an experiment and find out. The experiment that we're going to run is one that was done by scientists in the 18th century. And what they did was, we have a couple of candles. If you want to do this at your house, you'll need a shallow bowl or a dish, a couple of candles, a jar or a cup that can go over the candles, some matches, and some water. I put a little color in mine so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, science is fun, but it can be dangerous. So make sure that you have an adult if you're going to try this experiment at home. And they can help you with this part of it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to light my candles. So I would let them burn just a little bit. Unfortunately, I am in the wind, so I may have to do this quickly. And then you're going to take your jar, don't put it all the way on top, and you're going to fill your shallow dish with water while your candles are burning. I've got mine on top because I'm worried about them going out. Once you have that, go ahead and put your cup on top of the candles and then watch what happens. What do you think is going to happen? We know that oxygen is needed. Ah, look at that. Can you see that? All of the water from the dish went up into the cup. Why did that happen? Because we know that oxygen is needed in order for things to burn. So the candles, once I put the cup on top, I created a system where all the air was trapped in there because it was water all the way around. So what happened is once the oxygen started to burn and all of the oxygen was used up, then the candles went out because there was no more oxygen to fuel the fire. Now, a good scientist will look at something and say, is it empty or is it full? And the answer will always be full no matter what's in it, because if there's no water or solid things in it, there's still air in it. So air is everywhere. So this was full of air. The oxygen got burned up. Because there was less oxygen, there was more pressure on the outside. So something needed to take the place of the oxygen, which is why all the water came up. It's kind of like magic, wasn't it? But this is really an experiment that scientists used to figure out that oxygen was in the air. So most of the air is made up of oxygen and nitrogen. About a fifth of what's in the air is oxygen. So about a fifth of what this cup is got replaced. The oxygen got replaced with the water. So it's a pretty cool project, but you have to think about it. Why do you know that there's oxygen in the air? Because scientists did experiments like this, and they're the ones that figured out. The scientists that did this didn't actually figure out it was oxygen, but this was a really important experiment, and it's a famous one. And later on, based on the stuff that he did, other scientists were able to determine that oxygen is in the air. So once I put the cup on and all the oxygen was used up, then the water replaced the oxygen. Why is this important for you to know? For safety reasons, it's because if you ever have a grease fire on your stove, don't put stuff on it. Put the lid on your pan, and it will use all the oxygen and your fire will go out. This is the same reason if you have a fire in your house, you don't want to open the door where the fire is on the other side, because when you open the door, you allow more oxygen to feed that fire. So you always want to be careful about that. So knowing about the oxygen and knowing that once the oxygen is used up, that the fire can no longer burn, those are things that you can use in your everyday life. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's cool to see that happen. If you want to try this at home, make sure you get an adult to help you. And I would suggest doing it. It's so much fun. This is Miss Andrea. I'm signing off.